back in 1928, when the school which Rav Shamshon Hirsch had established in 1853, and which had become a model for similar institutions throughout the Torah world, celebrated its 75th anniversary. Jewish life in Kehillos such as Frankfurt, Hamburg, Berlin, Fulda was calm and serene in those days. It centered around the Beis HaKnesses, with its numerous affiliated Torah activities. Torah study flourished, youth activities abounded, charitable and social work was highly organized, a sense of continuity, of permanence prevailed. A new generation was rising to take over from the old one and to perpetuate a way of life which firmly established their position as uncompromising Torah Jews, loyal to the traditions of the land that had been their home for many centuries. While the centers of learning were primarily located in the larger cities, the real backbone of so-called German Jewishness were the innumerable small towns with often a small Jewish population which not only lived in harmony with the Gentile co-citizens, but perpetuated a way of life that combined scrupulous loyalty to the observance of Torah and mitzvahs with a simple and honest and straightforward mode of living. The oft-abused term Landsjude in reality was a badge of honor, which spelled firmness of character and a strict commitment to Torah living. Often, these small kehillos could not afford a Rav of their own, and there were many traveling Rabbonim who serviced entire districts and entire generations. Their synagogue buildings, as well as those in the larger and more famous communities, were often models of architectural and aesthetic beauty and were copied throughout the Jewish world. These structures were erected to last for many generations to come, and during the last century, and certainly for part of this century, it seemed indeed that the future of European Jewry was secure. Confident in their place in the society to which they were accustomed, the Jews of Germany, and for that matter, the Jewish populations of both Western and Eastern Europe, had only a slight advanced inkling of the catastrophe that was about to engulf their lives, and that was to write an end to a glorious chapter in the history of our people. For then the incredible happened. Hitler raised his evil battle cry against the Jews, and German Jewry stood at the crossroads. As the SS began its deadly march, German Jews were thrown into panic and confusion. Many left the country, many more stayed on, vainly hoping for a change for the better. And then the decisive blow, the Kristallnacht, with its burning synagogues, its looting and shooting, thousands dragged to concentration camps, the schools closed, businesses ruined, Jewish life at a standstill. And then a final exodus to countries abroad of those who were still able to get away. But thousands, too many thousands, did not get away. And then the war broke out, and the gates to freedom were firmly shut. Then began the ghastly, more terrifying onslaught on human dignity and on human life the world had ever witnessed. Millions of innocent victims, men, women, and children, an entire generation, the flower of youth, the crown of the aged, perished at the hand of the oppressor. As Jews of every walk of life were ferreted out and shipped to their doom from countries all over Europe, a sea of blood poured out from the centers of destruction, while a world at war stood by in silence. Matzevos and memories are all that is left of these Kedoshim and Tahorim, the precious and heroic martyrs of our people. A steadily increasing stream of refugees chose this blessed land as their new home. Their first sight upon arrival in the New York harbor was the proud symbol of liberty and freedom, which had also greeted previous waves of immigrants from all parts of the world. Many of the new arrivals from Germany gravitated towards the northern section of Manhattan, which was and still is dominated by the majestic span of the George Washington Bridge. A group of Orthodox German Jewish immigrants determined to create a new Kehillah, transplanted and reborn from the ruins of old. They established a small Torah community which was to develop into the largest Orthodox German Jewish Kehillah in the world. Its influence and standing is symbolized by the simple expression Bennett Avenue. The familiar one-story building at 90 Bennett Avenue became and still is its active center. They called as their spiritual leader Rav Dr. Joseph Breuer, a rabbinical personality of world renown who headed the Frankfurt Yeshiva. We are deeply grateful to the divine Hashgocha for preserving Rav Breuer for us in harmonious cooperation with Rav Schwab at the helm and in the active direction of our Kehillah and Yeshiva. And our heartfelt prayers are for his continued good health, vigor of mind, and for Arichas Yomim. Grandson of the great Shamshon Raphael Hirsch, he perpetuates his Torah Derech Eretz ideal as the established philosophy of our Kehillah and Yeshiva, the supremacy of Torah over whichever circumstance of life, and the absorption of all that is good and valuable of the world's culture and technology. The activities of the new Kehillah expanded. It published its famous bulletin, which forms a faithful record of our Kehillah history. The Mitteilung serves as a tribune for instructive literary material by the rabbinate and as a source of information on the various activities and events within the Kehillah. It established the mikveh as the essential ingredients of Taras HaMishpocha. As the only public mikveh in the entire area, it is also at the service of other congregations and out-of-the-area visitors in the true spirit of Muzakeh es Horabim. It formed an extensive kashrus network which continues to serve as a model guide in this country and abroad. Its products, offering the guarantee for strictest reliability, are eagerly sought in wide circles beyond the Kehillah limits. Most important, it promotes relentlessly the intensity and quality of Limud HaTorah through numerous shiurim and study circles. The first president was Walter Joseph Zichron Livrocha, who guided its growth through the early difficult years. Dr. Raphael Moller, who is the current and long-time president, is not only a Talmud Chochem, but also a man of great vision and energy. He is known throughout the city as an experienced and much sought-after physician who is the embodiment of true Gemilas Chesed. But one important ingredient was lacking: a school, a yeshiva of their own. During the first years, many of the Kehillah's children attended the neighborhood public schools and George Washington High School. While the educational standards of these schools was incomparably better than in those days than it is today, a Jewish school, a Kehillah school, became an urgent necessity as the vital ingredient of truly Jewish Kehillah life. Finally, overcoming many obstacles, the yeshiva, named after the great leader in Jewry, opened its doors in 1944. It started modestly with 13 students, with the temporary addition of a high school department. The yeshiva soon expanded vigorously. Although the bulk of the student body was drawn from the Kehillah itself, its doors opened, as they always have been since, to the children of the community at large, as well as to students from outlying districts. Yet it always aimed at maintaining its homogeneous character in the realization that in the final analysis it is neither the principal nor the teacher, but the chavruso, the atmosphere of dedication to Torah and mitzvahs prevailing in its classroom and in its hallways, which determines the wholesome character, development, and steadfast Torah Jewishness of our yeshiva students. At the same time, the yeshiva administration fully realized the importance of modernizing the school and maintaining its up-to-date program and curriculum. This is especially important on the high school level, where students are being equipped with the educational tools to enable them to face the world with its constant challenges and demands. An all-important necessity for the successful application of the curriculum is an up-to-date and constantly replenished library for Hebraica, Judaica, and secular subjects. The library also serves as a study hall, as a research center, and as a meeting place of diverse minds and views. For close to a quarter of a century, Mr. Yeshiva has been Harry Levy, its chairman, the man whose favorite saying is, "Die Kuh kommt schon vom Eis," which, roughly translated, means that no obstacle is so great that it cannot be overcome. His close associate is Manfred Katzenstien, whose name is practically synonymous with our Kehillah and Yeshiva history, and who may justly be called our local elder statesman. Inevitably, the time came for further expansion, and with it, the by now familiar call to the community for funds. The response, as it always is with us, was prompt and generous, permitting construction of a new synagogue and school building across from the old location at 90 Bennett Avenue. The new building was impressive indeed. The large stone menorahs on the outside walls symbolized the role of the Bais Medrash as the spiritual center of the community. 1,350 seats for men and women are comfortably filled on an average Shabbos, but the ladies' gallery suffers from a perpetual scarcity of room, which would make an expansion in that area an urgent necessity. What really counts, however, is not only the Shabbos and Yom Tov attendance, but the strong daily participation in the morning and evening minyanim, which never slackens, summer, winter, rain or shine. For the Shul, with its Kehillah and Yeshiva offices and various classrooms, is more than a place to daven and to study. It is the lifeblood of a vibrant Torah community. Another milestone in our history was marked by the election of Rav Shimon Schwab to the rabbinate, bringing to our leadership an outstanding Torah personality. He continually stresses the totality of Jewish living, and as such our Kehillah has become a model institution renowned throughout the Jewish Orthodox world. Rav Schwab has a vital share in that the term Bennett Avenue has become a symbol for uncompromising Judaism and Kehillah life at its best. But in those days, 20 years ago, one school floor was thought to be sufficient, and there was indeed enough space for the rubber parade on rainy days. Soon, however, a spectacular increase in student enrollment would warrant the addition of 2 additional buildings. And again, the call for funds resounded through the Kehillah, and again its members and supporters responded magnificently. Soon the sounds of pile driving and construction intruded upon the sanctity of the adjoining Bais Medrash, but it was a most welcome intrusion, as the new high school building rose on its distinctive stilts, adding 16 classrooms, a library, and a laboratory to the yeshiva facilities. The elementary department includes 6 years of laying the foundation for future growth. The junior high school classes form a vital preparatory stage for entrance into the realm of high school education, which includes the Mesivta, where the maturing yeshiva bocher prepares for higher learning, and our Beis Yaakov High School, which provides the genial atmosphere and thorough learning background for our growing girls. But where it really all starts is the kindergarten, or as we call it in our school, the early childhood group. Actually, it is our oldest educational branch, having been established by the sisterhood not long after the Kehillah was founded. Generations of happy children have gone through the hands of the indestructible Tante Nettie, who gives them their first taste of organized activity and sharing with each other. Recently, much larger and colorful quarters for our little ones were set aside within the school premises, and it is a joy to watch our young students in their happy surroundings. It is certainly not a new educational discovery that the experiences on an early childhood level may be of profound significance and have a decisive influence on the life of the adolescent and adult. This is why such great stress is laid on the happy and relaxed atmosphere in this, our youngest educational branch, but it is also the start of a long and rewarding period of learning experience and study growth. Typical class studying under the careful and experienced guidance of their teacher. The school day is quite lengthy, and there are numerous subjects to be studied as part of a double program. Torah in the morning and secular studies in the afternoon. But the warm atmosphere and the spirit of togetherness convey a feeling of friendly working together, which inspires the student and instills in him a sense of security, which is all important, especially in our difficult and turbulent time. In the spirit of Chanoch Lana Al Pi Da'ato, much stress is laid on individual attention and approach, which fosters the reputation of our yeshiva as a family school. But chinuch is a tedious process, and unlike the physician who can prescribe a fast-working medicine which often cures the patient, parents and children go through many years of growth, filled with much laughter and many tears before the fruit of their labor becomes evident. Here the little girls of the first grade are getting their first taste of reading and writing, quite a challenge for a young child who is about to enter the realm of what the children would call real school. Neither rain nor sleet will keep the eager students from enjoying their well-deserved recess, and ample provision is available for self-protection. Naturally, one of the most important and enjoyable daily activities is the joint lunch, which is not only a welcome interruption of the school routine, but is also nutritious and generally well-tasting. This is the time of the day when the students relax between departments and when they gather fresh energy to go through the rest of the afternoon schedule. Of course, no Rosh Chodesh lunch would be complete without the famous sodas, of course. Many mother volunteers lunch service on a rotating basis, and they seem to enjoy this pleasant duty as much as the children whom they serve. A healthy mind needs a healthy body. Our yeshiva lunch program seems to bear out this ancient truth. Of course, there are some students who get a little tired after a big midday lunch, but they work up enough energy during the rest of the day to devour another big meal at home at dinner time. Thank God our children are perfectly normal and healthy specimens, and our daily lunch period bears this out. Just about half a year ago, our Bais Medrash, newly named after the late Frankfurt Rav, was installed in spacious new quarters on Upper Bennett Avenue. Under the competent guidance of his Rosh Yeshiva, the Bais Medrash is firmly established as one of the most important, if not the most important, education facility in our midst, which plays a vital role for the development and very future of our community. By its mere presence, the Bais Medrash lends stability to our entire educational system. Its newly added dormitory enables out-of-town students to enroll, and an attendance of over 100 bochim is expected for the new term. It certainly took courage to call on the Kehillah for another expansion project in a time as uncertain and turbulent as ours. But our members and supporters realized the importance of this project and were well aware of the impact a new yeshiva construction would have on the future life of our community. Hopefully, these girls are future students of our Rika Breuer Teachers Seminary, where young women from all over the country receive their postgraduate training as Torah teachers to serve the community at large. As every year at this time, our Kehillah and Yeshiva family gathers together in a great demonstration of unity of purpose and of selfless and unstinting support for our institutions, which are so close to our hearts. We love our Kehillah, we love our Yeshiva, but we only become fully conscious of the depth of our feeling when we are away from them, when we realize how deprived our lives would be without these precious jewels. This annual event would have no chance of succeeding without the active help of hundreds and hundreds of individual workers who give up of their time and financial resources to devote themselves to the goal of making certain that our institutions not only will survive, but that they shall prosper and grow ever stronger. The pages of the dinner journal, which seems to expand in size from year to year, form a vivid record of the personalities of the past and of our own time, who are intimately tied to the history of our Kehillah and Yeshiva. Theirs is a unique partnership which transcends the decades and forms a continuous link between the generations. We hope and pray that the future generations, which will count themselves as partners in this great undertaking, will support and further it with equal magnanimity, equal enthusiasm, equal generosity. For they are our guarantee for the future, our guarantee for the perpetuation of a way of life uniquely our own, as handed down by our great forebears who left it as their sacred heritage. Let us all join together in this great enterprise of evermore stabilizing and perfecting the sacred structure of our Kehillah and Yeshiva. Let us work together in furthering this great work. Let us do our utmost, even sacrifice, to make certain that the future is secure. May the abundance of divine blessing descend upon all of us who are united in attaining the great goal, l'hagdil Torah u'l'ha'adiro.